Deadpool. Who would have thought back in 2016 when the first movie was released that we'd be here? Now he's a saviour, a self-professed messiah. Never has a trailer been so hyped, never has one film had so much rest on its shoulders. Can Deadpool save the MCU? Will Disney tame the Merc with the mouth? And will they blunt the claws of Wolverine? I've got to admit I'm very excited about this movie, but that could potentially cause a problem. With a few notable exceptions, most films don't usually live up to their billing. To be honest, most of the fun is coming from actually guessing what's going to happen in this movie. What will be the story? What Marvel characters will be making cameos? If the internet is to be believed, you'd think we're going to get 60 years of Marvel characters crammed into a 90-minute film. I think a lot of people will be disappointed. After all, how many cameos can you get in a single movie? Now that we've effectively had 2 trailers, we can start to piece together part of the storyline. So Wade Wilson is going to be kidnapped by TVA agents and recruited for a special mission, probably to stop Cassandra Nova. For some reason he needs Wolverine to help him. Maybe he has some specific knowledge of how to find or to stop Cassandra Nova. The trailer shows the initial meeting between Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool walks into a bar and tries to get Wolverine to come with him. How many bar scenes have we seen with Wolverine, where a bar owner tells him he's not welcome and he should get out? It seems like every one of his movies has one of these scenes in it. Well, I suppose if it's not broke, don't fix it. Also, I'm curious about Deadpool putting a gun to Wolverine's head to threaten him. Surely every man and his dog knows that Wolverine is pretty much impervious to everything, but everyone still keeps coming at him with the lead. Sure, it looks cool, but it won't work, you fuckwits. You may as well be tickling him. I suppose Deadpool might have adamantium bullets, which might explain why Wolverine is on his arse in the next shot, although the outfit doesn't quite match with the bar scene. It also might explain why Wolverine appears to have no memory of his world going to shit.
Come again.
One of the main challenges this movie is going to have is not to fall into the formulaic style of buddy cop movie, which goes something like this. Deadpool and Wolverine meet. They don't like each other. There's some witty back and forth banter. They have a couple of entertaining fights. Then, after a big heart-to-heart, or a moment shared, they decide they need to work together for the greater good.
The greater good.
Then they team up and beat the big bad. Hopefully the movie is a little cleverer than this. In terms of the choice of baddie, when I heard it was going to be Cassandra Nova, I was like,
Who?
She's one of the more modern villains from the X-Men comics. Anyway, after doing some research, it seems she's a pretty formidable villain. The story arc where she basically is responsible for the genocide of millions of mutants in Genosha is pretty cool. I was hoping we might get this in Deadpool 3, especially if we were going to get some freaky 3-headed self-repairing sentinels splattering all of our favourite superheroes. Unfortunately though, I'm not sure we'll get this, as Disney Marvel have recently spunked this storyline in their animated series X-Men 97, and curiously enough they decided to attribute this atrocity to another X-Men villain. To be honest, I think I would have preferred another villain altogether for Deadpool 3. Maybe Omega Red or Mr. Sinister? I've been wanting a live-action version of Sinister since forever. He's a pretty creepy character, and I think there's loads of decent actors who play creepy rather well. Maybe they don't want to touch him as they think he's got a goofy outfit, and they learn their lesson after the absolute mess they made of Apocalypse, who looked more like Wishmaster after a 48-hour bender in Las Vegas. They've teased Mr. Sinister a number of times in various films in the franchise, but he is yet to appear. We've had some cameos already confirmed. We've got a number of X-Men villains that are returning, such as Ray Park's Toad, Deathstrike from X-Men 2, Azazel from X-Men First Class, and Pyro from X-Men 1 and 2. At least they've cherry-picked some of the best villains from previous X-Men movies. At least they didn't feel the need to bring back this girl whose name I can't remember and can't be bothered to look up. In terms of other cameos we might be getting, the internet has been awash with lots of rumours, such as Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Robert Downey Jr. making a return as Iron Man. There were rumours that Taylor Swift might make an appearance. Well, that cameo would go down just about as well as having Ed Sheeran rock up in Game of Thrones. I think we can actually trace the moment when Game of Thrones actually turned into complete and utter dogshit, and it coincided with Sheeran's appearance. That was the moment when everyone gave up. When nothing made any sense anymore, and they just decided to write Season 8 on the back of a cigarette packet. In terms of unanswered questions, I really want to know who this guy is. When I watched the first trailer, I initially thought it might be Doctor Doom, but now I'm pretty convinced it's not. However, given the assault rifle and the military garb he's wearing, I'm actually thinking this might be the Punisher. We know who will be making an appearance in the MCU soon when he appears in Daredevil Rises again. Anyway, if you've got any theories about who this guy might be, or you're absolutely certain who it is, please drop a comment. From the trailer, it looks like we're going to get more portals and alternate realities. It looks as though a large section of the movie is going to be set in the Void, which is where the TVA send all the people from alternate dimensions that aren't up to scratch. How many metaverses of madness, badness and sadness do we need? It is starting to get a little bit boring, especially now DC are also getting in on the act. Marvel sometimes do like to flog a concept until everyone gets thoroughly sick of it. I hope Deadpool can carry it off, although even the whole cameo thing is starting to get a bit old too. Hopefully Deadpool can navigate this without it getting stale. The concept of alternate realities opens up the possibility of multiple Wolverines. Will Disney Marvel use this movie as an opportunity to introduce a new actor as Wolverine? Knowing them, I wouldn't be shocked if there was a female Wolverine appearing somewhere. I would be stunned if we don't get some sort of cameo from some of the actors in the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot. All in all, I really loved the new trailer for the latest Deadpool movie. The interplay between Wolverine and Deadpool is fun, and I can't wait for more of it. I love the mindless violence. And the Madonna needle drop is inspired. The one thing I didn't like, though, was the cocaine joke at the end, where they try and reassure us again that Disney Marvel won't break Deadpool. We already had this from the first trailer. It makes me a little worried. It reminds me of that scene at the end of a movie when a character has been mortally wounded. Their compatriot kneels by their side and tells them it will be okay. It will be okay, it will be okay, over and over, but invariably, it isn't.